The Galactic Council, a coalition of ancient and mighty species, convened under the soft glow of holographic stars within the Grand Chamber. For millennia, they had governed the cosmos with a strict doctrine of balance and non-aggression. When humans emerged as a spacefaring species, the Council watched with mild amusement, their primitive technology and reckless tendencies considered harmless. But then, the unthinkable happened. Esteemed counselors began overmined Psylocks of the Ithril Collective, a pulsating mass of bioluminescent tendrils. We have received reports of an invasion by the species known as humanity. They have overrun the Zarnex cluster. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the chamber. The Zarnex cluster was a fortified region, guarded by the formidable Orcalfan Empire. No species had dared challenge them in over 10,000 cycles. Surely this is a misunderstanding, rumbled High Arbiter Threx, a crystalline being whose voice resonated like chimes. Humans lack the resources and coordination for such an endeavor. We thought so too, Psylocks replied, projecting a hologram. The image revealed human warships, hunky, asymmetrical, and radiating an unsettling energy emerging from subspace. Behind them followed fleets of automated drones, industrial carriers, and massive terraforming rigs. Planets once teeming with Orcalfan cities now bore the unmistakable mark of humanity. Sprawling metropolises, factories, and greenery engineered for Earth-like conditions. They didn't just conquer, whispered Thrax. They assimilated. 3 months earlier, aboard the USS Vanguard, humanity's first interstellar flagship, Captain Sarah Harlow stood at the helm. Her crew was a mix of Earth's finest minds and most resilient spirits. Engineers, scientists, soldiers, all united under a single banner, survival. The Orcalfan refused to negotiate, reported Lieutenant Kamara, his tone grim. Their envoy insists we retreat or face annihilation. Harlow frowned, studying the star map. We've exhausted our resources. Earth is dying. Our colonies are barely self-sufficient. This cluster is rich in everything we need. Minerals, water, arable land. Retreat isn't an option. Captain, chimed Dr. Elena Morozov, head of Sinobiology, the Orcalfan Empire is vast. This cluster is a fraction of their territory. If we act decisively, they might cut their losses. Decisively, Harlow echoed. Her gaze hardened. Prepare the fleet. The invasion began with precision strikes. Human stealth ships disabled Orcalfan communication arrays and orbital defenses. Infiltration teams savaged key infrastructure. Within hours, the Orcalfan garrisons were overwhelmed. But it wasn't sheer firepower that turned the tide. It was humanity's audacity. Using neural interfacing tech, human pilots controlled swarms of drones, adapting strategies in real time. Terraforming rigs deployed atmospheric processors, altering planets to Earth-like conditions within days. Civilians aboard massive carriers worked tirelessly to establish settlements, laying claim to the cluster with a speed and efficiency that baffled their enemies. How did they do it? Demanded Councillor Varish of the Thalnok Dominion, slamming a clawed appendage onto the council table. This barbarism defies logic. It's not barbarism, Psylocks corrected. It's desperation. Humans are a young species, forged in adversity. Their history is a litany of conflict and survival against impossible odds. They don't fight for conquest, they fight to endure. On the surface of Zarnex IV, Harlow surveyed the ruins of a Orcalfan city. The air was thick with the hum of machinery and the scent of freshly tilled soil. Former battlefields now blossomed with earth crops, tended by humans and reprogrammed Orcalfan servitor bots. We've crossed a line, said Commander Reyes, her second in command. The Council won't ignore this. Let them come, Harlow replied. We'll show them what it means to be human. Weeks later, a fleet of Galactic Council ships arrived in the Zarnex cluster. Their presence was a display of authority, their ships gleaming with advanced technology that dwarfed humanity's fledgling fleet. Humans, boomed the voice of High Arbiter Threx, transmitted across all channels. You have violated the sacred tenets of the Galactic Council. Surrender now, and your species will be spared annihilation. On board the Vanguard, Harlow stood before the comms array. With respect, Arbiter, humanity didn't survive centuries of war, famine, and environmental collapse just to bow to another threat. We're not here to conquer, we're here to live. Your actions speak otherwise, Frex countered. You've subjugated an entire sector. We adapted it, Harlow corrected. The Recalfin abandoned these worlds. Their people fled without a fight. We've turned desolation into prosperity. Your defiance will cost you, Threx warned. Prepared be. Wait, interrupted Xylox, who had been observing silently. Captain Harlow, if humanity is as resourceful as you claim, perhaps there is another way. In the weeks that followed, humanity negotiated its place within the Galactic Council. They offered their unique innovations in exchange for recognition of their claim to the Zarnex cluster. Though many counselors objected, Xylox's argument prevailed. Humanity's potential was too great to ignore. Humans are not conquerors, Xylox declared during the final session. They are survivors. If we guide them, they could become allies rather than adversaries. Years later, the Zarnex cluster thrived as a beacon of human ingenuity. Advanced technologies born of necessity transformed the region into a hub of commerce and culture. Humanity's resilience became a legend, inspiring awe and respect throughout the galaxy. And though whispers of the first human invasion persisted, they were often accompanied by another phrase, a simple yet profound reminder of humanity's place among the stars. They fight not to conquer, but to endure.